The Quail Who Tricked the Fowler. In the golden grasslands near the ancient city of Benares, a flock of wild quails lived happily among the tall grass and wildflowers. They spent their days pecking at seeds, splashing in puddles, and singing cheerful songs to one another. Among them was one quail who was especially clever. While the others played without a care, this little bird would sit quietly and think, always watching, always planning. One terrible day, a fowler came to the grasslands with his nets and traps. He was a stocky man with rough hands and greedy eyes, and he made his living by catching birds, fattening them up, and selling them at the market. Before the quails knew what was happening, his wide net swooped down and trapped the entire flock, including the clever little quail. The fowler stuffed all the quails into a large bamboo cage and carried them back to his hut. He set out bowls of the finest grain and cool fresh water. "Eat up, my little birds," he said with a greedy grin. "The fatter you get, the more coins you will fetch me at the market." The other quails, frightened and hungry, gobbled up every last grain without thinking. But the clever quail did not touch a single grain. He sat quietly in the corner of the cage, thinking hard. "If I eat this food, I will grow fat, and the fowler will sell me," he thought. "But if I refuse to eat, I will grow so thin that no one at the market will want to buy me. That is my only chance of escape." And so the brave little quail made up his mind he would not eat, no matter how hungry he became. Days passed. The other quails grew rounder and plumper with each meal, their feathers glossy and full. But the clever quail grew thinner and thinner. His feathers lost their shine, his little body shrank, and soon he was nothing but skin and bone. The fowler would shake his head in puzzlement every time he looked at the stubborn little bird. One by one, the fowler took the fat, plump quails to the market and sold them all for a handsome price. Buyers pointed and chose the roundest, heaviest birds. But nobody wanted the clever quail. "Look at that scrawny thing," they laughed. "It is nothing but feathers and bones. I would not pay a single coin for it." The fowler could not sell the thin little bird no matter how hard he tried. Frustrated and confused, the fowler took the thin quail out of the cage and laid it on the palm of his hand to examine it. "What is wrong with this bird?" he muttered, turning it over carefully. At that very moment, when the fowler's attention wandered for just a heartbeat, the clever quail saw its chance. With a sudden burst of energy, it spread its wings wide and shot up into the sky like an arrow, flying free at last. The clever quail flew all the way back to the sunny meadow where he was born. His old friends, the free forest quails, gathered around him in amazement. "How did you escape?" they chirped excitedly. The clever quail puffed up his chest proudly. "The thoughtless eat without thinking and are led to their doom," he said. "But the one who thinks and plans ahead can find freedom even in the darkest cage. My empty stomach was the key to my freedom." Moral: a thoughtful mind and patient planning can free you from even the tightest trap. The drink that nobody drank. Long ago, in the great city of Benares, there lived a kind and wise treasurer. He was known throughout the land for his generosity and sharp mind. Every day, he walked through the bustling markets, greeting merchants and helping those in need. The people loved and respected him dearly. In a dark corner of the city, a band of lazy tricksters huddled together. They were always scheming for easy money. One day, their leader had a wicked idea. "Let us prepare a sleeping potion," he whispered. "We will disguise it as a delicious sweet drink and offer it to the treasurer. When he falls asleep, we will take his jewels and fine robes." The tricksters gathered herbs and roots from the forest and mixed them into a powerful sleeping potion. They stirred the bitter mixture into pots of sweet honey drink until the potion was completely hidden. Then they set up a beautiful stall in the marketplace, decorated with flowers and colorful cloth, filling golden cups to the brim. When the wise treasurer walked through the market, the tricksters rushed to greet him with wide smiles and deep bows. "O great treasurer," they called. "Please honor us by tasting this wonderful drink. It is the finest in all of Benares. We brewed it especially for you." They pointed eagerly at the golden cups arranged on the stall. The treasurer looked at the cups filled with the sweet-smelling drink. The tricksters praised it endlessly. "So refreshing. So delicious. The best drink you will ever taste," they said again and again. But the wise treasurer noticed something very strange. Not a single one of the tricksters had taken even one sip from their own cups. Every cup sat untouched, still full to the brim. The treasurer smiled calmly and said, "Your cups are still full, yet your praise is overflowing. If this drink were truly so wonderful, surely you would have drunk it yourselves. This drink cannot be what you claim it is." The tricksters' faces turned pale with shock as they realized their clever trick had been seen through by the wisest man in Benares. Caught and exposed, the tricksters stumbled over each other as they scrambled to escape. They knocked over their stall, spilling the sleeping potion onto the ground. The people in the marketplace cheered as the dishonest schemers ran away, never to trouble the wise treasurer again. And so, his sharp eyes and clear mind had protected him once more, teaching everyone that true wisdom comes from watching what people do, not just what they say. Moral: true wisdom comes from observing actions, not just listening to words. The monkey in disguise. Long ago in the Himalayas, a wise hermit named Tapasa lived peacefully with his young son Kumara in a forest hermitage. The Bodhisattva taught his son the ways of wisdom and compassion. When the rainy season arrived, cold winds swept through the mountains. The hermit and his son sat warming themselves by a crackling fire inside their cozy hut. Outside in the cold rain, a shivering monkey named Marku spotted the warm glow of their fire. He longed to get warm, but knew hermits would chase away a mischievous monkey like him. Then Marku had a cunning idea. He found the bark garments of a dead ascetic lying in the forest. Quickly, he put on the robes, grabbed a basket and walking stick, and disguised himself as an old hermit. The disguised monkey shuffled to their hut, hunched over his walking stick. The innocent young boy saw him approach and felt compassion for what looked like a poor old hermit in the rain. "Father, look. A poor old hermit stands in the cold rain. Please, let us invite him to warm himself by our fire. Surely he needs our help on this terrible night." But the wise hermit looked carefully at the stranger and saw through the disguise immediately. "No, my son, men have no such face as that. This is no hermit, but a cunning monkey trying to deceive us." He grabbed a burning branch from the fire. The frightened monkey dropped his disguise and fled into the dark forest, never to return. The hermit taught his son an important lesson that day. True wisdom sees through all deception, and honesty is always the wisest path. Moral: deception may fool the innocent, but true wisdom always sees through disguise. Honesty and integrity are the foundation of trust.